This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate there on a Thursday. Whiskers, Tito, Jeff Thitoff. To my left, Bobby Carpenter. Bodie Wells, other side of the glass there. Good morning, Bob. How are you this morning?
Oh, great morning. Thitoff, doing well. Just excited.
That sounds disingenuous.
No, that's good. You know, just touching up the driveway. Keep widening the spacing there until we can get full open coverage with all the snow. Just slowly working it back one day at a time. Kids going back to school today, so that's an exciting proposition.
There's a lot of them still out today, isn't there? Aren't we one of the few that are in? I think like Dublin's out.
Hilliard's out, Dublin's out. Although a lot of those places said be prepared to go back on Friday. Most school districts carry 5 calamity days, and a lot of them have exhausted that or are over the line today, and so that means you got to start making those days up. I was trying to explain that to my son. It's like, well, would you rather start going back and go extra days at the end of the year? Sometimes they do it during spring break, or they'll snag a day here or there, which those days are usually a mess because, like, once people plan travel, they plan camps, they plan other things, I'm not sure exactly how you try to parcel that out and have people come back. Those are usually almost wasted days anyway, but you still have to go. It's still required, and there's still things that need to be done. So I was like, you've had a 5-day weekend. I think Arlington still has 1 day left. I was like, so it's still not into February yet, so let's try to hold one of those back just up your sleeve in case you need it here in the next month.
Did either of you ever have to go back to school later?
Yeah.
You
well,
did?
we did spring break one year.
I don't remember ever doing that. Having that happen with me, but I don't know. Did it happen to you, Bodie, at all or not?
Definitely, yeah. I feel like I remember it happening more when I was pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely remember my senior year, which you don't have to make up because graduation's graduation.
Right.
We went way over. I'm talking at least a week, if not 2. It was awesome. It was pretty sweet.
What year did you graduate?
2014.
Yeah, so that was that big storm, 2013-14, yeah.
And we had a lot of cold days. I remember a bunch of days being cold. We were canceled just purely out of the coldness.
Right.
I remember when Florida State played Auburn in the national championship game that year. We knew we were canceled so far ahead of time. We all got together, went to B-Dubs, watched the game.
Yeah, you don't want to get outside.
No.
So walk to B-Dubs.
Yeah, but it was awesome. Yeah,
when you've had some drinks, when people are hanging out, you just feel warmer, Bodie.
Yeah.
Get some nice spicy wings there.
But yeah, like I said, we had a bunch of days that we went over, but our senior class didn't have to make them up, so.
They did
a big win.
They did spring break when I was in 4th grade, and I think we had to go back 3 or 4 days. So our spring break was only 2 or 3 days, plus the weekend.
Yeah, I don't ever remember doing that. Definitely remember making up some days into June, even, which is not fun. But
yeah, it's no good. Yeah, so hopefully they don't, because that's the thing. Graduation's graduation. People leave and do whatever. So I don't know how they'll work all that out. But it's supposed to be cold here tomorrow as well, cold early into next week, maybe getting warmer, but, if there's one more cold snap or storm, that'd be a bumpy situation, to say the least.
We've got 2 full hours here on YouTube, the Fan app, and HD3. Download the show anytime. Catch us from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV+. Also catch us live on Facebook and Twitter. Morning Juice sponsored by Riverside Bank in Dublin. Albert Breer joins us at around 7:03. Ya Highness at about 7:30 today. Check in with him for our weekly dose of Ya Highness. CBJ beat Philly last night 5-3. Elvis gets the win.
There you go.
Maybe he did a coaching change. Coaching changes to get to the right guy to bring out the best in Elvis. Yes.
Waiting for the king.
Jackets in Chicago in a standalone game Friday night, and then a game Saturday night in St. Louis. NCAA basketball, the OSU men host Wisconsin this Saturday at 2.
In Madison.
Yeah, OSU at Wisconsin. Did I say it?
You said host.
Oh, it says "at" on my sheet. Not a good job by me.
The women hosted Wisconsin.
The women
do host Wisconsin
tonight at 8. Yeah. Cavs beat the Lakers last night 129-99. Bob, why don't you get us going and make me smarter?
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
All right, Bobby, work your magic.
All right. It is Thursday, January 29th, the final Thursday of the month, the 29th day of the year, 336 days remaining. So next Wednesday, we'll be hecking into the 20s there. But as we keep cruising along, just plowing through 1 month down, 11 to go.
I need to get to February, Bob. This cold is
I don't think the cold
breaking my spirits.
I think it'll still be here in February.
I know, but it's one step closer.
One step. There you go. One step. It's the shortest month of the year. So
exactly. Yeah. So
be cruising along.
Flip those clocks forward and downhill from there.
That's not until March, April.
Yeah.
Is it March?
Normally the first weekend.
Okay.
Or week into.
This date, 1845, Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven is first published by The New Yorker, one of the iconic poems in American history. 1861, Kansas is admitted as the 34th state. This date, 1936, the first Baseball Hall of Fame inductees are announced with Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, Honus Wagner, Christy Matthews, and Walter Johnson. 1959, Walt Disney releases Sleeping Beauty, one of its classics. 1963, the first inductees into the Pro Football Hall of Fame are announced. There's 3 of them. But if you have any idea who those are.
What was the year again?
1963. 2 players and a coach.
Let me see here. 2 players and a coach. Would Red Grange? Probably not.
Oh,
is that one?
That is right.
Red
the
Grange,
Galloping
right?
Ghost.
I don't. Hallis was still coaching. I doubt it was him.
Alice is the second.
Wow. And then the third one is a player, you said?
Some refer to him as the greatest athlete of all time.
Jim Thorpe?
There you go.
Nice.
Huh.
Those were the 3. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I can't really take credit for it because first 2 I said weren't
listen,
there.
it's all right. You stumbled into them. I mean, you said the names.
Yeah.
So well done out of that. You on that. Bill Belichick somehow not on that list.
Hasn't won enough Super Bowls, Bob. He's been to, 10%? No, more than 10%. He's been to 1/6 of the Super Bowls, I think, ever, right? How many? That's 60. He's been to 10, right? He's been to better than 10%.
He has been to what?
How many Super Bowls has he been to? He's been to, well, they won 6 with.
They won 6. They lost to Philly. They lost to the Giants twice.
Right. That's the ones,
Did
right?
They lose another?
I think it's one. I think he went 6-3, right? And then
6-3. So there's 3 there. He went 2-0 with the Giants.
Right.
And then 11. He lost another one with the Patriots.
That's 12 out of the 60. Is this 60 this year?
Yep. This is 60.
So 12 out of 60.
That's 1/5.
1/5.
There you go.
But he's not good at the Hall of Fame.
That's a pretty good.
Drink a 5th on the 5th. There you go.
Right there.
And he went to a number of other AFC championship games,
Oh.
which they had lost, and were right on the doorstep. Yeah. One with the Jets, which nobody even talks about when he was the D coordinator there with Bill, and then a couple others with the Patriots. I mean, the amount of conference championship games he's been in.
Yeah.
A couple more than Dallas
like
in the last 30 years.
I feel like he needs one more though to really cement his legacy before we put him in the Hall.
Yeah, we'll get. I mean, that was just utter nonsense yesterday. I was talking with Rothman and Ice about that. I don't even understand what we're doing. And then listening to some of these people's explanations. Well, I didn't vote against him. I voted for other people. You're a moron.
Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, Jimmy filleted him.
Did you see what he tweeted though? He quote tweeted the Texans field goal against the Pats from a couple weekends ago.
Yeah.
It was obviously just a mistake.
I don't know if Jimmy knows how to do that.
But you know what? He still got on there and said, these a-holes don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, listen, good for him. 1983, the Men at Work released hit their biggest hits #1 with The Land Down Under.
And he said, I come from a land down under. But beat us slow and mention
Can't you hear that thunder?
Oh, goodness. This date, 1995, Andre Agassi defeats Pete Sampras to win the Australian Open.
Game 7, Agassi. 3 sets to 1. 4-6, 6-1, 7-6, 6-4.
Standing ovation, as you'd expect after a tremendous final. And the Black Prince has won the championship.
I tell you, that guy was the girls were swooning over him in high school when he was coming up like that with the long hair,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. This date, on that same day, 1995, Super Bowl 29 was played with San Francisco topping the San Diego Chargers 49-26 in Miami.
Young, quick pass, slanted, Jerry Rice, another touchdown! Steve Young is now number 1 all-time with 6 touchdown passes.
Young passed for 325 yards. He also finished as the game's leading rusher. He was the best player on the field and the most elated.
Someone take the monkey off my back, please! It's gone forever!
The game was won. The mission was complete. The 49ers were once again the champions of professional football.
Super Bowl 29 has come to a completion. The San Francisco 49ers are the first team to win 5 Super Bowl championships.
Steve Young, in 1984, after finishing up his career at BYU, signed with the LA Express of the USFL. 43 years, $40 million contract.
Really?
Yeah, 43 years, $40 million contract. And it was structured as such that he would get $4.8 million over the first few years, and the rest intended for future payouts, according to this on AI here.
The league's still paying him.
But now when the league went bankrupt, he took a settlement, like for $1.4 million of what was left on there in the contract.
For the other, like, $35 million, he got 1.4 out of it.
Yeah, he got drafted by the
Buccaneers. They're trying to give him one of those Barry Bonds or one of the Bobby Bonilla deals.
Bonilla deals, yeah. All the deals now are going to be Bobby Bonilla deals with the way they're doing it now. Everything's going to be all.
Oh, these are way better than Bobby Bonilla.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they are. But yeah, Young got drafted by the Buccaneers, and so he ended up playing there first and was awful because they were awful, and then got traded to the 49ers.
Absolutely. They had some of the great recovery or redemption stories or comeback stories of NFL quarterbacks. And they're like, where do you put Steve? Mike Greenberg had it up. And it was like Steve Young was in there. I want to say Sam Darnold was in there.
Right.
Baker Mayfield, I want to say. I don't know if he had Randall Cunningham in there because Randall had a good career.
Good run, yeah.
He had a good run with Philly. There was a couple others, though, that were like, oh, goodness. The only quarterback to win 2 Super Bowls not in the Hall of
Plunkett.
Fame. No, maybe it wasn't Plunkett.
Plunkett and that's probably one of them because Plunkett flamed out big time.
Yes, in New England. In New
England, yeah.
Yes, so Plunkett was on there. That's correct, and I forget who the other one was. But it was a pretty good list, to say the least. This day, 2002, George Bush, in his State of the Union, gives his iconic axis of evil.
These regimes pose a grave and growing danger. They could provide these arms to terrorists, giving them the means to match their hatred. They could attack our allies or attempt to blackmail the United States. I will not wait on events while dangers gather. I will not stand by as peril draws closer and closer. The United States of America will not permit the world's most dangerous regimes to threaten us with the world's most destructive weapons.
World's most destructive weapons. Some birthdays today. Born this date, 1843. William McKinley. He's a president, Thitoff.
I know. Billy McKinley.
You have any idea of what number president he was?
I'm going to give McKinley 27.
27. You're not too far off. I'll give you a little credit. He was 25, so pretty close there.
Yeah.
Catherine Ross turning 86 today of graduate fame. Tom Selleck, Mr. Magnum PI, turning 81.
Ivan. Yes? Did you see the sunrise this morning? Yes. Why?
Sounds like a violin.
What was that from?
Magnum PI.
Was that from Magnum
PI?
Didn't watch a ton of Magnum PI.
Had a bunch of views on YouTube, so I figured this
there
was
you go. I'm sure that was
relatively
big.
iconic scene. Couldn't tell you the context of it. But.
I mean, he was in Friends too. I mean, you ever watch Friends? A lot of people your age went back and have like watched it.
Yeah,
all.
I haven't watched it like all the way through, but I know he was
Monica's
he dated
boyfriend.
Monica. Yeah,
for a while.
Yep.
And he was her dad's friend as well.
Hey.
Turning 72 today, the iconic Oprah Winfrey.
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open until I tell you. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3. You get a car! 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 Everybody gets a car!
It'd be funny if one person didn't get one. You don't get a car, but you get a
Matchbox
car.
car.
Right, right.
Congratulations. The reaction from the audience. I mean, I get being excited, but I don't know.
Still got to pay tax on the car.
Some of those people you would have thought you just gave them $5 billion. So
Right.
it's like, it is just a car.
Right, yeah. Point A to point B.
Okay. Hall of Olympic gold medal diver Greg Louganis turning 64 today. Andre Reed, Hall of Famer, 4-time Super Bowl participant with the Bills, turning 62.
Andre Reed was the quiet Bill, the worker, the sweater, and not coincidentally, Jim Kelly's go-to receiver. Mostly, though, he just took off. His uncanny knack for making yards after the catch made him the AFC's most dangerous receiver of the 90s. His 13,198 yards receiving ranked 13th all time. And it was Reed whose 3 TDs helped the Bills overcome a 35-3 deficit in a legendary win, now known simply as the comeback. It's impossible to write the history of the greatest dynasty to never win it all without including the exploits of Andre Reed.
There you go. One of the great all-time receivers in NFL history, and probably gets shortchanged because he never won one of those iconic Super Bowls. Heather Graham turning 56. I cannot believe she is this old. Oh, goodness. She was in Austin Powers and in many other movies as well.
Okay, what's up? You guys are acting weird.
Look, it's Jade, right?
Very funny, Phil.
Right, Jade. You remember our friend Doug?
Are you kidding? He was the best man at our wedding.
Exactly. Well, we can't find him and we're getting a little worried.
Oh, my God. That is so Doug. Oh. I'm gonna go clean him off. Sorry, Daddy didn't mean it.
Oh, my God. What the man? You gotta hold it together. Holy shit. It's super hot. You should be proud of yourself.
She is wearing my grandmother's ring.
What?
The ring I'm going to give to Melissa. You remember my grandmother's Holocaust ring? She's wearing it.
Okay.
I didn't know they give out rings at the Holocaust.
Is that? Oh, that's right. She's in
The Hangover.
Hangover. Yes, that
Boogie
was,
Nights
that
also,
was
right?
one of the other ones. Yeah.
Very familiar with.
She was
what she looks like.
Roller Girl.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot though that she was in Hangover. Like, I didn't know they gave out rings at the Holocaust. What a great line! I mean, that is, you couldn't even write that. My gosh, that's so ridiculous. Holy smokes! Some other birthdays today. Mark Gasol. I always thought he was the better of the Gasol brothers. He actually went to high school in America, which made him tougher. That's why he wasn't a soft flopper like his brother.
Well, Pat was soft, and then Kobe said, I'm going to find whatever
Right,
toughness you got in you and drag that out of you.
Beat it out of you. And so apparently he did that. But I always liked Mark. Won the NBA championship with
Toronto.
With Toronto, yeah. Did a great job, rim protector there. He actually, I think, graduated from a high school in Memphis when his brother was playing there. He moved over with him.
Probably one of the worst trades of all time that actually eventually sort of worked out. But
for what?
When Memphis sent Powell to L.A., that was...
Oh, yeah. Just give it
that was a, yeah.
I didn't know
he
who
was an
Powell was.
all-star on a silver platter.
Well, he was all-star on a terrible team, too. Like, they weren't any good.
But Mark was nothing. Like, he was a throw-in in the trade. And then he turned out to have a great career, but...
Yeah. It turned out to be... I mean, he was in... All-Star a couple times, all
very
defensive
strong.
team.
Yeah, really
good player. Very different player than his brother. Much tougher, more American.
Was Powell for Kwame Brown?
Yeah, I like that.
Javaris Crittenton, Aaron McKee, the draft rights to Marc Gasol, and 2 first-round picks.
I mean, it was like Luka.
Yeah.
Before, it was the Luka trade 15, 20 years prior.
There we go.
Although even Anthony Davis was better than...
Anthony Davis was one of the best 10 players in the NBA at one point.
Well,
at one point.
when he's on the court.
Yeah.
Yes, Nico Harrison, he's better than Kareem.
Perfect. Better than Kareem. Oh, goodness. We've got Jack Roslovic, the Columbus native and former Jacket, now with Edmonton, turning 29 today.
Slips and falls. Puck turned over. Good row with Roslovic. Jack Roslovic scores. The Blue Jackets complete the comeback with an overtime victory.
Nice for Jack Roslovic right there. We've got some passings today. Passing away in this state, 1963, the famed poet, laureate Robert Frost. And then passing away in 2019, James Ingram, who sang Somewhere Out There, which was out of one of my favorite movies growing up, 501 American Tale. Hit it, Bodes.
He's also in the We Are the World song.
Is he?
Yep.
I had no idea who James Ingram was.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that he sang. I didn't even know he sang that until I clicked on him and was kind of researching him a little bit. And that was one of my favorite movies, like as a kid. I don't know, came out in early 90s, maybe late 80s.
I think it was late 80s.
Late 80s.
An American Tale.
American Tale.
Okay.
It's about a little couple.
When you said that, I thought you were like introducing the movie, like, fine,
It's
American
an
Tale,
American
but
Tale.
it is called American Tale.
And then there's the second one, the follow-up, the sequel, Five Goes West, which was another big one. That came out in the early 90s.
American Tale was 1986.
Ooh, gosh, yeah. I mean, I guess I was really young when that came out. And remember watching it on VHS.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think we went and saw Five Goes West in theaters. So that was maybe like maybe 7 or 8 when that came out. What, probably 80, maybe 91?
We'll take a look for you right now. Trying to find it here.
Digging through, scrolling.
Scrolling.
I feel like it may have been at the top.
It wasn't there. I looked at the top of the wiki thing here, and it
What
wasn't up there.
James Ingram?
No, I was looking at American Tale.
Oh,
See if they would
don't
show
have
it
a
on
sequel. They don't have the sequel to it.
They didn't show it on. I'm gonna find it there for you, Bob. I think this is.
Okay.
I want to say it was. Here we go. 1991.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Five Goes West.
Makes sense. I was about 8 years old. One of the first movies I remember going to be excited to see in the theater. Actually, knew. Some holidays and observances today. It's Curmudgeon's Day. How about that? Free Thinkers Day, also known as Thomas Paine Day. NASA Day of Remembrance. It's the last Thursday in January, probably following the Challenger situation.
Makes sense.
There as well. National Carnation Day as well. National Puzzle Day. And those, your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date, January 29th, the 29th day of the year, the final Thursday of the month, and 336 days remaining in this 2026.
Well done as always, General. You guys do puzzles?
I mean, a little bit. I'm not a huge puzzle guy. Like, I've never really. Some people put them out, and my wife got all these. Like, okay, 100 piece, sure, 500, maybe 1,000 piece. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I don't have time for this. I'd rather do other things. And my son loves puzzles. And last night he was struggling with his pre-cal stuff, and it was all sine, it was all angles with some geometry things in there, some sine, cosine, tangent stuff that was all through it. And it's like, buddy, this is just like a puzzle. I was like, I love these puzzles. I'd rather sit here and do trigonometry as opposed to sitting here doing a puzzle.
Right.
So I'm like, just find the answer.
Yeah.
Give you 2 sides, they give you 1 angle, maybe opposite over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent. That's the last one. Opposite over hypotenuse.
I just feel some PTSD coming back because I haven't heard those words since high school. And I feel like last time I heard them, I don't know, the thing.
Adjacent, opposite over hypotenuse, adjacent over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent.
Yeah.
Sokotoa, Oscar had a hit of acid. That's how our student teacher taught us that when I was in freshman. So yeah, he's working.
There you go.
Working through some of his pre-cal. I'm like, buddy, I can help you with most of this. Like, not all of it. And I'm almost to the ends of like my math dominion, but I'm like, I can still get you there.
The education of Central Ohio continues. From the words of Bobby Carpenter.
That was from my teacher. Like, my math teacher was like, you think he was there and he taught my parents. He was an older dude.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had like a super young teacher. I mean, it was almost like Saved by the Bell. The dude had like a ponytail, looking sweet.
Right.
And when he was walking out of here, and he had Sogato, he's like, this is how how we remembered it in college. And he's like, Oscar had a hit of acid. So I told my son that one last night. And then he, in turn, told me another one that one of his student teachers told me. I said, it was less drugs in nature, more sexually illicit in nature. I was like, okay, I appreciate that, buddy. You can keep some of those to yourself. But whatever mnemonic device you need that helps you, there it is.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I remember that one.
What's that one?
That's it's like parentheses.
Oh, yeah, that's order of operations.
Yeah.
Parentheticals, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction.
Subtract, yep.
You have no idea. Thitoff, listen.
Never eat soggy waffles in Northeast Southwest.
Also, Tito, Brian Kelly won his first game against Purdue 23-12. That was his first win at Notre Dame.
That's good to know.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Freshman year of high school.
I can tell you right now that George Foster had 52 home runs, 149 RBIs, hit 320 back in 1977. I have no problem doing that.
We all got something.
Yes. Coming up next, the Browns got a new head coach, but did they get better? We'll discuss that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You don't want to start the new year off hurting. You don't want to start off the new year getting surgery. You don't want to start off the new year dealing with trying to plan something out into the future. What you want to do is get healthy. So what you want to do is go to my friends over at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team, the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, back, shoulders, whatever it is, they can help you get ready. So instead of those invasive operations, it's going to sideline you all of the early year. Go check out our friends at QC Kinetics and see if they can help you today. Imagine moving better, being stronger, planning your year, doing what actually you want to do. So don't wait. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices located in Dublin and Gahanna, and they're ready there for your free consultation. So go check them out today.
Everybody, it's Berm here, Jeremy Birmingham from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan, and I have the least exciting update I can give you. Awaken 180 is still working. That is actually fairly inconvenient because I don't have anything dramatic to complain about. I'm 5 weeks in, I'm down over 30 pounds, and there hasn't been a single plot twist. There hasn't been a stall. There's no mystery week where everything stops making sense. I simply follow the plan, I eat what I'm supposed to eat, and the scale does what it's designed to do too. Weight loss usually feels like a guessing game where you're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, but Awaken 180 doesn't. There's structure, there's coaching, and there's zero need for motivational speeches in the mirror. I'm not negotiating with myself. I'm not starting over every Monday. I'm moving forward, enjoying the ride, feeling a whole lot better, and watching years of bad habits quietly get undone. Do what we all did and make your own 180 with Awaken 180. Go online at awaken180weightloss.com. 844-346-1800. Awaken180weightloss.com.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
All right, it's Bobby, it's Tito, it's Bodie here. Morning Juice, thanks for tuning in. As always, folks, the Browns hired a new head coach, Bob. Todd Monken. He comes over from the Ravens.
Curious if he's going to keep Jim Schwartz.
Curious if Jim Schwartz wants to stay. Because, reportedly. And
he was one of the finalists for the job.
He was. He was very upset that he didn't get it.
Was he?
Yes. It said that he, let's see here. On CBS Sports. He left. He plans on leaving Cleveland, according to CBS Sports. He was saying some goodbyes, apparently. So I think that, I think Monken wants Schwartz, but, you speak very highly of Schwartz.
I like Jim a lot. I think he's a really good head coach. I think he does a good job as a head coach. I think he probably learned a lot in his time in Detroit, how it started, how it finished.
Right.
He's been around a number of places. A lot of people don't know this. He cut his teeth in Cleveland. That was his first coaching job.
Yeah.
He was like the defensive assistant making like $5,000 a year under Bill Belichick there for like two or a handful of years up there in Cleveland. He goes, I used to sleep in between my car and my office. He goes, I don't even think I had an apartment. He didn't. He's like, I don't remember him saying this, but I think he implied like he didn't even really have a place to live. He couldn't afford a house, like a apartment to live in.
Right.
So he just basically lived at the facility.
Do you like the Monken hire?
Has he ever been a head coach before?
I don't believe he has.
I was thinking through that. I don't think that he has. I don't hate it. I liked it a lot better if Jim Schwartz was going to still be there.
Right.
And I thought whatever they were doing, they would make sure, even if they didn't hire Schwartzy, they'd keep him on. And they would make sure that he was understanding of that. And they would compensate him in a way that would make it difficult for him to leave. But apparently that didn't happen.
3 years as the head coach at Southern Miss.
Oh, yeah.
2013 to 2015. 1-11, 3-9, and then 9-5. And then from there, he took the Tampa Bay OC and wide receivers coach job.
So he went 9-5 and left Ole Miss to become the Tampa
Southern Miss.
Or Southern Miss.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah. Okay. And then left, I guess if he didn't maybe get a head college job that he wanted and wanted to get to the NFL, then there you go.
I'd say that's a pretty big promotion, though, right? That's a lower level group of 5 school to.
Well, if they weren't
OC.
trying to pay him or trying to really give him the resources to win, is what it comes down to.
It feels to me like there's not a head coach other than a really big name kind of guy like a Tomlin or a Harbaugh that the Browns could get that would inspire optimism among the fan base.
Yeah.
It's just because they've been beaten down so much by the organization. You know what I mean? By the decisions they made. They don't trust the organization. I don't think Browns fans do, rightfully so. But whatever name they were going to throw out there, it was going to be like, oh, that guy, huh? Unless it was a big name.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to think. No one off the top of my, they could have run like a guy like John Gruden or something like that. Someone that people widely know. Would that have been better? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know if there was a name out there in this hiring cycle that had a lot of buzz to it, though. It's outside of like Harbaugh or Tomlin.
And
those guys weren't going to probably.
Stefanski got fired by them.
So Stefanski, the hottest guy on the market.
Right,
he was the guy that you had.
Right.
I think maybe Dayball, just because he had been a head coach.
Right.
But I don't know that there was a.
There definitely wasn't a Ben Johnson, right?
No.
Where it's like this next coordinator is like everybody would love to have him.
I think Nathan Steelhouse was kind of that guy. I know he's the passing game coordinator for the Rams, but he was someone that they're looking at of that Sean McVay tree that gives you a little bit of excitement, when you look at how that offense ran. And so I thought that they were maybe looking at him maybe as the head coach with Schwartz, or maybe they make Schwartz the head coach, they bring him in as the OC, and maybe they didn't like him enough as the OC to ultimately feel confident in giving the reins to Schwartz. I don't know. But I know that they were trying to jelly this thing all together to make it work. And the problem is, like you said, Thitoff, they've burnt up so much relational equity with their fans. I don't know if there was someone that you could have looked at out there that said, man, this would have been a great hire. Maybe bringing back Bill Belichick. I don't know.
Do you think they would have embraced McCarthy? Browns fans.
they could have trotted him out there as a Super Bowl winning head coach.
Right.
And a guy who, has basically won everywhere he's been. I don't know, though, that Mike McCarthy, people get real excited about him. And maybe that's my own personal bias.
No, I think that's fair. He doesn't have this dynamic personality.
It's not like his offense is wildly dynamic. Like you watch it and you're thinking, man, like you could plug a decent quarterback in there and make him great. You had Brett Favre, you had Aaron Rodgers, and then you had Dak Prescott. And people can say what they want about Dak, but Dak's pretty good, and they've had some really good weapons. Cleveland has none of what you've had in the past. So if they would have brought him in, it's like, okay. I mean, this guy's always had a pretty talent-rich roster, especially the quarterback position and wide receiver positions. He doesn't have that at all in Cleveland.
He's got a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah, of course.
So you don't have to worry about that. So now we got 2 openings left, the Raiders and the Cardinals. And I'm not sure which one's more attractive. I
think it has to be, I was going to say Oakland, Las Vegas.
Has to be the Raiders?
Yeah, because I would rather have Mendoza and see what happens.
And I think the Tom Brady element to him being involved in this, there's still an appeal to that. Cardinals have been notoriously cheap, and they've been historically poorly run.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders were notoriously cheap, but they're paying $50 million this year to former coaches,
right?
who aren't coaching there.
Right.
They've spent money. They're in a brand new building. They're in Las Vegas. I think that there is significantly more appeal to that, and I'm curious who they end up hiring there. And that's the one other place that I would fear that Matt Patricia could possibly end up. I'll feel a lot better when that job is filled and the defensive coordinator role is filled as well.
I don't get okay, maybe it's money. Maybe it's just money. But I don't get the fit with Brady and the Raiders. Like, I don't understand why Brady, I picture him going to a different kind of franchise just because
What does that mean?
Okay.
I want you to, before you talk on this subject, let me just lay some ground rules out.
Sure.
One of the most profitable industries year over year for the last 30 years has been the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There's only 32 NFL teams.
Right.
They're not going to add any expansion teams. If you get an opportunity to get in there, you get in wherever you fit in.
That's absolutely fair, Bob.
Okay, so now knowing that, I want you to proceed with your comment.
What I'm saying is I think Mark Davis is looked at as a bit of a comic book character.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd say that's an accurate statement.
I'm not saying that Brady shouldn't take the job. I was saying I figured a fit for Brady might be a different type of organization. Maybe an organization that's more that has more stability. Something like that, like a Patriots job.
Okay,
I'm saying if it's available to him, if this is the one.
Why? But here's the thing. Thitoff, all like the places that you're thinking, they didn't need him to come in as a partial owner.
Okay.
They didn't need the money.
If you ask me to match up 32,
I understand,
teams,
but I'm telling you, the most important thing that they needed in this was liquid solvency. They needed cash on hand to be able to solve the problem. Robert Kraft doesn't need that.
Sure.
Mike Brown maybe does.
Yeah.
But there's very few of the other NFL owners that did. So why would they want to bring on a partner?
I would think maybe Arizona would have wanted to. Trying to think of other teams that maybe have had.
Okay, so you're telling me Arizona? We just sat there and looked at this and said the only reason the Vegas job is better than Arizona is Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, I don't know if Vegas, I guess Vegas probably is a better job of the two, but I'm just saying, Bobby, when I think of.
I understand you're saying fits, but I'm telling you, you're looking at this all wrong. This isn't a head coaching decision. He's an equity partner. He is an partial owner, and he's directing a lot of the traffic and things that go on there. Like, he brings credibility to the Raiders. That's why they wanted him. And they brought a financial element to it that I think for 10% of the team, they brought in like $400 million that Mark Davis needed.
What percentage of Brady do we know that or not? What
I think
is it?
I just said for 10%.
Okay, I
don't know
if 10% was all him or if there was like.
No, he has equity partner.
Okay.
I don't know what percentage of that is him, and I don't know how they broke that down. He may not even put any money in at all.
Yeah.
And his partner may have put it all in. And that would have been his foray, and that guy's willing to pay $4 million or $400 million for 5% and give Tom the other 5% just for the ability to get in.
Right.
Because Tom Brady was maybe his foray there. And I don't know that to be factually accurate of how that breakdown is. No one knows that other than the people involved in the transaction. That's why Tom's with the Raiders. Stephen Ross doesn't need his money with the Dolphins.
Right. They brought on Aikman to just consult kind of thing. Yeah,
consult. Nobody else needed the money. Okay. Mike Brown probably does, but he's too selfish to do that, to bring in a partner that would make them a more financially viable franchise. Mark Davis had to. That's why they had to move from Oakland to get to Vegas, to get a better stadium deal, to make more money, and he needed partners to be able to come in to help make that grow, because he really didn't have any cash liquid unto his own, and so that's how that had to work.
Gotcha.
So that's the reason why. It was the only opportunity.
Okay, yeah, if it's the only opportunity, I get it then, yeah.
And it's still the Raiders, right? I mean,
but they've won 3 Super Bowls.
Michael Jordan to the it's been a minute, but like Jordan,
Charlotte
with the
Hornets,
Hornets,
baby.
like Charlotte is way lower, as far as the call it the blue blood scale in the NBA
but
than the Raiders are.
They
than
needed
the NFL.
they
needed one.
They needed to know.
Now that did not go very well. So hopefully for Raiders, Brady's.
You know what it did go well for? Jordan's pocketbook.
Yeah.
You go look at how much
team. Yeah.
You go look at how much he purchased the Hornets for and then how much he sold them for.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
So that's my point.
The product on the floor, though.
The product on the floor may not have been
hit or miss.
But the product in his financials, that definitely hit.
Yeah.
We can all agree that the best job, though, is former Raiders head coach, right?
Hey,
that's a pretty good
or
job
OC
right there.
Even.
Former Raiders OC.
OC is another good one, too. Yeah, you're right. Coming next, we'll do quick hitters, Morning Juice.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at MDA.org today.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here. And I'm an innovation ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
My mom is a veteran and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Bobby knows what it's like to be a winner. Tito knows what it's like to be thrown out of an all-you-can-eat buffet.
You're here 4 hours.
This is Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. Bodie's time to shine.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, fellas, happy Thursday. Talked about the Browns hiring Todd Monken last segment. Let's get into the other coaching position that was filled this week, and that was the Buffalo Bills promoting and staying in-house and promoting offensive coordinator Joe Brady to head coach after they fired Sean McDermott last week. Adam Schefter also reports that Jim Leonard is a heavy favorite to come aboard as the team's defensive coordinator. He's been in the league for quite a while now, also coached at Wisconsin, his alma mater, is a pretty bright, up-and-coming defensive mind there. At 36 years old, Brady, he becomes one of, if not the youngest head coach in the league. We'll see as the other vacancies get filled out here. He's been in Buffalo since 2022 as the quarterback's coach from the start of that season. In 2023, late in the year, in November, he was elevated to OC after Ken Dorsey was fired. Since Buffalo promoted Brady in Week 11 of that 2023 season, the Bills, they ranked first in EPA per play. They're second in points per game, and the Bills have had 9 games with 30-plus points scored this season, which is tied with the L.A. Rams for the most in the NFL. So, Tito, they're obviously staying in-house, which, I don't know, if you fire the head coach and then stay in-house always seems a little weird, but they're banking on Brady getting, I guess, the most out of Josh Allen, if that's even possible to get more out of Josh Allen.
To keep getting out of Josh Allen, because Josh Allen played a role in this in the hiring process. Apparently, so he had a say in that, which is smart. But if Allen's comfortable with him, then it makes a lot of sense. You know, they are still a damn good team.
Yeah,
they fell short a little bit this year, but still, I mean, not many teams fire their head coaches after getting to where they got and getting to where he's been so far. I don't know. I question the firing, but you know, I think it's a smart hire for the Bills, though.
So, you mentioned that they don't get fired after getting where you got. You don't get fired in the NFL for wins and losses. You get fired for failing to meet expectations. The reality is their expectation was to get to a Super Bowl at some point in time. What in Joe Brady's past would lead you to believe that he's going to be someone that will lead him there?
I'm not convinced. I don't know. Nothing in the past necessarily.
You said it was a good hire.
I think it keeps Josh Allen happy. I think if he works well with the quarterback, and we know that quarterback is the most important position, if they have a good relationship, then hopefully they can fall on everything else out. But I'm saying if Josh Allen's happy with the hire, I think it's a good hire.
I don't know if making your kids happy is the important thing in life. Making sure that they're productive is probably better. Mm. And so appeasing your quarterback is one thing. Making sure that they're in this, you know what they want, you know what Josh Allen really wants?
He wants a Super Bowl.
He wants a Super Bowl,
sure.
Not to be happy. And so if you think Joe Brady's the best for that, then maybe that's the solution. I don't think that you're – we'll see how Jim Leonard does on the defensive side of the ball. I really like Jim, and I think that he's a very bright defensive mind. I don't know if this is the route, if you're going to fire Sean McDermott, that I would have gone, no.
Yeah.
And I understand they wanted to keep continuity on the staff and continuity in scheme, and I think you probably still could have done that, and you could have found a way to keep Joe Brady possibly as your offensive coordinator. But I'm not promoting a head coach or promoting a coordinator who did a great job at LSU with Burrow. He goes to Carolina, struggles there mightily, goes to the quarterback coach, and ends up getting promoted. And yeah, their offense was pretty good, but he also has Josh Allen. And Josh Allen does a lot of things outside of the box that anybody can call plays on. So I don't know if this is. I think in maybe 2 years they'll regret firing Sean McDermott, and maybe even if you regret him, maybe more the regret is than promoting Joe Brady. And maybe I'm completely wrong on that, but I don't see this as an upgrade over their past situation.
Well, it is an upgrade. I wasn't suggesting that. When I said happy, I also mean signs off on it, I guess, is more so, you know, you're obviously not going to hire him just because it makes the quarterback happy.
Words matter, Thitoff.
I understand, Bob. My word of happy, I meant sign off on it, what I was trying to infer there.
He approves it. Okay.
Yes.
All right, guys, to the college football world, what were the best games of this past 2025-26 season? Bill Conley of ESPN took a stab at ranking them, and here's what he came up with. We'll don't need to look at all 100 that he put together, but we'll start in the top 5 here. Number 5, Montana State beating Illinois State by a point in the FCS championship game. That was number 5. At number 4, which I vehemently disagree with, Texas A&M winning by a point in South Bend as they beat Notre Dame 41-40. And then the top 3, college football playoff quarterfinal game as Ole Miss beat Georgia 39-34. At number 2, the semifinal, Miami beating Ole Miss 31-27. And then at number 1, he had the national championship game, Indiana knocking off Miami there 27-21. He had 3 Ohio State games on the list. At number 50, I thought this was I don't know, kind of interesting, I guess. At number 50, he had Ohio State's win over Texas. One spot ahead of it was the CFP quarterfinal game where Miami knocked off the Buckeyes 24-14, which just as far as like a good game goes, that Texas game was way better. I think that's kind of fair to say. But then all the way up there at number 20, he did have the Big Ten championship game with the Hoosiers knocking off the Buckeyes 13-10. Carp, probably not a surprise. As far as Ohio State, they didn't play a ton of great games, so no surprise that their highest ranking there was number 20. And then I think the top 5 is pretty fair. I mean, you can nitpick these lists a little bit, but
it's your preference. Part of it is that the outcome was the outcome of the game, your desired outcome. Like that's going to obviously that's going to sway you a little bit. Now, the quality of the game leading up to that point, with a minute left, were both sides engaged and happy, and was it a fun game? There's probably stress for both fan bases. That's all part of it. There was a lot of great games in college football this year. I mean, Ohio State wasn't part of a ton of them because their schedule wasn't great. However, next year that's going to change.
Yeah.
So next year they'll have the potential to probably be involved in a lot of these. You'd like to be involved with them on the winning side and coming down to the wire and finding a way to get it done and pulling it out, whether it's on offense or defense. And the year prior to that, they had a number of those. So we'll see where it goes from here, but I don't disagree. Like that Indiana Big Ten championship game, I thought was tremendous.
Yeah.
It came down to it. It would have been even better if you could make a 30-yard field goal and take it to overtime, and then you're probably talking about a game that, number one, would maybe have got the outcome that I wanted to see, and then number two with that, it would give you the an overtime element that could have maybe bolstered the intensity of the game.
I can't step outside of my mind on this when I'm looking at lists because it's got to be a game Ohio State won. Probably a game Michigan lost. Something like that. Like that's the kind of thing it's like. So I'm like, there's no way this game was much better. Michigan got their ass handed to by Oklahoma or whatever. Something like that. It's like that game was a much better game.
I know he had like I mentioned, the A&M Notre Dame game at 4 and the Miami Notre Dame game at 9. Right. I was like, well, I enjoyed the USC win more than either one of those two games. But
what would you rather do? Compile a list like that, or compile a list like this guy did for The Athletic, where he ranked all 81 Big Ten games of the 2026 season coming up, like the best games in the Big Ten?
I think the latter, because you can just go a little. Well, I don't know. 81's less than 100, so give me that. Because honestly, they both seem like pretty exhausting tasks.
He had Ohio State, Indiana at 1, Oregon, Ohio State 2, Michigan, Ohio State 3, Ohio State, USC 4. And then the first non-Ohio State game in here was Washington at Oregon on November 28th. They had that on the 5th. Indiana, Michigan 6, Oregon, USC 7, Northwestern, Michigan State 8.
I don't know about that.
That feels high.
Well, I think it's Pat.
Yeah.
Pat Fitzgerald, yep.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
It's at Michigan State.
Okay.
Penn State at Michigan 9, Michigan, Oregon 10.
A lot of the same usual suspects that you would have expected on that list,
right?
Just basically playing each other.
And then the 81st game, the final game on this list.
We could have probably stopped it at 25 and called it a day.
Yeah,
maybe even 20.
You want to guess what the least important game in the Big Ten is? According to this
would
writer,
say Purdue, Maryland. I don't know who's playing each other.
Yeah, me neither. I was thinking Purdue, Rutgers.
It's Purdue, Maryland.
Nice.
Rutgers would have been the other option in there.
Rutgers, Wisconsin is 80.
Okay.
Maryland, Nebraska 79. USC, Rutgers. Illinois at Maryland. Michigan State at Rutgers. Yeah, so
there you go. Big Ten action. New York footprint.
Mm-hmm.
To the NBA here, guys. We're just 1 week away from the trade deadline. That'll be next Thursday afternoon. And Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks situation, it seemed to finally come to a boiling point. As ESPN reported yesterday that Giannis is ready for a new home, and several teams have made aggressive offers to Milwaukee, who are, quote, starting to listen. Per ESPN, Miami Heat, Minnesota Timberwolves, New York Knicks, and Golden State Warriors are among the serious suitors for Giannis. Since winning the finals in 2021, and he was far away the MVP in that one, Milwaukee, frankly, has kind of been on a slow but steady decline since for a lot of different reasons. Giannis, he's been hurt in the playoffs a couple different times. Chris Middleton has been banged up and then just kind of got old. The Damian Lillard situation.
Just got old.
Hey, man, those legs start to go eventually. Damian Lillard, that trade has just fallen completely flat on its face, and then he tore his Achilles, so that was a double whammy there. And now this season has been the worst. I mean, at least the last 4 years there, since winning the finals, they've made the playoffs. This year, they're 18-27. They wouldn't even make the play-in tournament right now. They let 10 out of 15 teams in the conference in there.
When Giannis plays, they're only 500, and when he doesn't, they're like 3-11.
Well below 500.
I heard these numbers, and I don't think there's another player on their roster that they've drafted. They're like the oldest team in the NBA. Like, that all sounds terrible.
Yeah, I mean, all of the key pieces from their stretch there when they were, even like I said a couple years ago, when they won 58 games but still got bounced in the first round, like, and a lot of that is because Giannis got hurt. Like, it was Giannis, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez. Like, a lot of those guys, well, basically all those guys are gone outside of Giannis himself. So, Tito, not surprised that, what's that?
This guy right here is dead.
Tito, not surprised that Milwaukee has said they'll keep him into the offseason if they don't get an offer they like, but at some point it feels like at least this calendar year that trade's going to happen. It'll be interesting to see who acquires Giannis.
I could see him going to Golden State for Jimmy Butler. Their salaries match up, and then a bunch of draft picks and whatnot, probably a couple throw-in players.
I can't even imagine, though, how many picks that would take. Well, like, you're taking back Butler, who I don't think is on an expiring deal, if I'm not mistaken. I thought he had still one more year after this.
Another year. I think he does.
And obviously he's not going to play all this year and a lot of next year with a torn ACL.
Right.
Well,
Plus he's 37,
that is basically what, oh my gosh, what was his name? That's what the Cavs did for the Clippers.
Oh,
Baron Davis.
Yes.
The Baron Davis deal. They basically paid $30 million to get a first-round draft pick, which ended up being Kyrie Irving.
Well,
so that's what you got to do.
And if you're Milwaukee and you got, just throw a number out there, 3, 4, 5 first-round picks over the next handful of years, betting on Golden State falling apart at some point over the next handful of years is a pretty good bet.
I would think so,
as amazing as Steph still is, like, even he's 37. Like,
Right.
eventually, like, that's going to come to an end.
I think Golden State owns all their draft picks going forward. I think they could include up to 4 and then a couple of pick swaps in there as well in the deal. But, yeah, it seems to me it's going to happen. It should happen. I'd like to see it happen just from the it'd be a great story if he goes to Golden State and see if they can make a run, one more run with that team. But, yeah, we'll see. What deadline is next? What'd you say?
A week from today, next Thursday afternoon. Yeah.
Be keeping an eye on that one. All right. So that's it for the quick hitters. I should probably look what we're going to come next with here, Bob. I had something on here. Coming up next, let's get some more info on the Belichick story. We'll get the scoop from Albert Breer when he joins. Not beer. Breer when he joins us next. Morning Juice.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Ms. Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow. Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
I slept in a lot of different rooms, different beds, but none of them really felt like mine. I spent 14 years in foster care, mostly in group homes. And I never had much stuff because I always had to be ready to move. Why get things if you just have to let them go?
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a forever family and a permanent home of their own.
Now I have my own room with walls that tell my story. I love hanging out in here. I play dress up with my sisters and I sing and make videos. But the best part, knowing I'll always have a place to go and a family that loves and supports me.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
All right, Morning Juice. We'll get Albert Breer on here shortly from MMQB. Bob, the Hall of Fame, I think it was the Hall of Fame, released a statement.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw it this morning. Adam Schefter reposted it.
Okay. And it was basically threatening, I guess is the way to put it, right, to take people's voting rights away. Kick them off the committee, right?
Well, they don't like negative publicity.
Right.
And here's one thing. Like, the Hall of Fame and the NFL are completely separate.
Mm-hmm.
They're connected in no way, other than the NFL, like, subsidizes things and tries to help them out at different times, and the ownership group has done that. But the NFL Hall of Fame is its own entity. It's its own nonprofit. And so the way that they do this, it's all on them. And so they don't like to be embarrassed. And I think that they probably had an anticipation that you were going to have Bill Belichick coming up, and they don't enjoy hear Jimmy Johnson go on Pat McAfee's show saying, I had chartered a jet and was planning on flying up there. Now I'm not going at all. Like, I mean, it just sounds bad because it makes the Hall of Fame, like, makes it look like it's not, we use the term pure, but it's tainted. I don't know. Like, yeah. I'm trying to find, like, the appropriate word for how to describe it. I'm just really at a loss. I mean, everybody wants to believe that the voters are altruistic and they're there to do the right thing for the game, and there's no personal vendettas and junior high nonsense going on, which is what this sounds like it is. When you hear voters coming out, I didn't vote against Belichick. Well, yeah, no doubt. You didn't vote against him, but you also didn't vote for him.
Right.
So don't give me that crap.
It says in the statement, part of it here, each year the Hall reviews the selection process and the composition of the 50-person selection committee. If it is determined that any member or members violated the selection process bylaws, they understand action will be taken. That could include the possibility that such selectors would not remain a member of the committee moving forward. And so they said that they're going to check if people violated the bylaws, but I don't believe it's said.
I'm curious, like, because they can't tell you who to vote. And I don't know what the bylaws exactly say.
Right.
I mean, as far as maybe revealing things that have happened, I don't know. I'm curious as to that.
Because no one's come out and said, no one's been identified.
Well, someone said that Bill Polian was the one that was, like, asking the question, should, you know, about Bill Belichick and the Spygate, and should he have to wait a year for that? And now Bill Polian's denying that. I'm like, well, if someone said it, if it got out there, and I haven't heard an alternative theory, that's probably it.
So, do you think?
And Bill Polian is a vindictive Irishman.
Do you think that the voting, like the votes, should be made public?
Absolutely.
Like they should be full transparency on that.
Listen, we're talking about if you can't make an argument as to why, and one of the guys, and I don't know if this violates it or not, I don't know if you're allowed to say who you voted for, one of the guys who works for Kansas City, and the way Albert Breer can get into this, when he gets on here, hopefully that's the case. But you have 32 NFL teams, so every team has a beat writer that is a part of it. And then you have 18 like national people, and like Bill Polian's on there, Tony Dungy, like Peter King used to be on there.
When you say national people, not necessarily media, just people like.
I think it's mostly media.
Mostly media, but like Polian and Dungy are on there.
But like Tony Dungy works in the media. Like Bill Polian, I think he's considered like a media representative. There's no like former players or anything on there. It's all, I believe, people that are esteemed members of the media, if you will.
I wondered about that, and I don't know. I don't think they're going to release it, but I would love to know what the exact 11 was. If it gets to 11, he's not in, and so we don't
you
know.
have to have 80. You have to get 80%, which is 40 of the voters.
Yep.
The one guy from Kansas City I saw came out, and he's like, I voted for. I didn't vote against Bill Belichick. I voted for maybe Robert Kraft. Oh God,
L.C. Greenwood or Ken Anderson.
Ken Anderson.
And there was a third one too. He had to vote for 3.
Yeah, maybe it was L.C. Greenwood. I forget who the third, but I remember Ken Anderson being on there. Thinking like, I get that. But so here's the thing. This is my question. I would ask him.
Mm-hmm.
So you think those guys are more qualified than Bill Belichick to be in there? And he'd probably say no, but maybe I want to get them in before they die. Well, you put the most qualified people in every given year. And you know what? That means that there's some guys that are on the doorstep, and it's really tough. But that's all part of it. It's not miscongeniality. It's not a best friends contest or anything. It's putting the players or the people with the greatest impact on the game. And you can't sit there and look me in the eye and say that the question was, and I forget who posed this, and it's been quoted a lot of times. But they always the litmus test was, can you write the story of the NFL without including that person? And there is no chance you could ever do that without Bill Belichick.
So we all can agree that Bill Belichick deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
There's Breer right now. We've got Breer right here.
Oh, there we go. This is great. I can't wait to get his thoughts on it.
Good morning, Albert.
Hey guys, what's up? It's I'm sorry, I'm in Mobile, Alabama right now.
It's great. Well, that means you had a great night last night too.
Yeah, if you had a Mobile.
That was good. It was good. It wasn't nuts, but I'm a little tired. So
well, you got to bring. I mean, you probably got to bring your winter gear down there too. From what I've been told, it's in like the 40s, which people down there probably hate.
I think it's part of my voice going dead is that I was standing outside for 5 hours the last 2 days. It was actually like normally you come down here and you've been in like whatever you guys are dealing with up there, I'm dealing with in Boston, and it's like 70. It wasn't that way this week. It was I think the wind chill, which it sounds funny saying wind chill about Mobile, but I think the wind chill when I got here was 23. So, and then you're standing outside it at practice. The good thing is I did go to Denver first, so I had all my cold weather stuff, which normally I'd make the mistake of not bringing it, and then I'd be screwed in a situation like this one.
So it's great that you're down there. And for those that don't know, I mean, it's the Senior Bowl. I mean, the Combine's probably next, and I'm sure this will be a talking point there because this is really just a huge fraternity. The conversation's being had about Bill Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Your thoughts on that and kind of what has been the general opinion on that?
I think everybody is stunned, Bobby. So I did some reporting on this actually, I'd say like 3 months ago when it first came up that like Bill and Kraft could be kind of head to head, right? And so, I talked to some voters who I've got, really good relationships with over the years, just being in the business and everything else. And, the guys that I respect a lot. And, I kind of got to learn what the process is and how the rules have changed for this particular category. So I can take you guys through that first, which I'm not sure everybody understands it, but you have you basically have every category outside of the modern era candidates, which is what most people are most fixated on, lumped together now. So that means you have every year now going forward. You're going to have 3 seniors candidates, and seniors candidates are players that may have slipped through the cracks and need a second chance at getting in. And then you have a coach and you have a contributor. And so this year, the 3 seniors candidates are Roger Craig, Ken Anderson, and L.C. Greenwood. The contributor is Robert Kraft, and the coach is Bill Belichick. And so every voter has to vote for 3 of those 5. So that adds up to 150 votes. And you need 80% of the votes. So that means you need to have 40 votes, right? So that doesn't sound like a lot, like getting 40 of 150 possible votes, but this is a zero-sum game. And so it's 5 guys trying to get to 140 or trying to get to 40 out of a possible 150. So it's difficult to get there. And even still, like when I talked to the voters and, a few months ago, the guys I talked to were like, oh yeah, Bill's getting in. And the discussion was actually like, it's going to be difficult on Kraft to also get in because Bill's going to swallow up 50 of the votes. And then you're going to have, you'd have 4 guys trying to get 40 out of a possible 100, right?
Yeah.
And so that kind of tells you where people's heads were at on that. Like a lot of people who've said, this is obvious, like this is, an open and shut case. Like the voters I talked to, and I didn't talk to all 50 of them, but I talked to a handful of them, all felt that same way, like that no one could vote against him. And so this is stunning. And what I really hate about it, guys, is like, what I hate about it is I hate the first ballot discussion. And this goes for any sport, because I don't think you should be holding anybody out for any reason because you think, well, first ballot's different than anything else. I think it's a yes or no question. That's the way I feel about it, right? And I understand where maybe you think 4 of those 5 guys are qualified, but it shouldn't be just, well, this one guy is first ballot and we'll get him in eventually. So like, let's just vote for these 3. No. I mean, to me, being in the Hall of Fame is a yes or no question. It's the greatest honor you can get. It should be difficult to get in. And so to me, it should be, if you have 4 guys that you think are yeses to the yes or no question, it should be the guys who are the 3 most emphatic yeses that get it. And I don't think people did that, and that's, to me, is like sort of the problem with it, because I do think, again, there are certain guys where, like for me, when I was growing up, right? Like, and Bobby, you're around the same age as me. Like, who would the guys be? It'd be like Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Dan Marino, John Elway, Lawrence Taylor, where, you've heard of this before, where the guy who's presenting him in the room just has to stand up and say Lawrence Taylor and sit down, and there's no discussion. Like, I think that's what Bill is personally, but maybe I have that wrong.
I don't think so. I mean, when Don Shula came up, was there a debate about whether he got in? I guess my question is this, Albert. I know that this happened a little bit with Chris Carter, and you see some of the personal animus come out, maybe in any type of grudges with some of these things. The people who vote, the voters are human in this, and that they may hold some of these things that maybe he wasn't the warmest in his relationship with the media, the Spygate, the Deflategate, with other things. I've heard leaked out, and I don't know the level of truth to this, that Bill Polian, talked about, penance to be paid for Spygate, apparently. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that's true or not, even though Indy was pumping in crowd noise on 3rd down that everybody knew that was happening in both RCA and Lucas Oil. So I do you feel like any of that happened, or like, is it just that it was kind of an oversight? There's other guys they wanted to get in.
Again, I think it's just, and I don't know. I can't jump in the heads of the 11 guys, or however many it was, at least 11 guys that voted against him. I don't know what the answer to that question is. That's a tough spot to put a voter into. You know what I mean? Like, so now they got to be the judge, jury, and executioner. I've felt this way about like the steroid thing in baseball. Like, create a steroid wing, create a separate area for everybody who played in the steroid era. You can't why are baseball writers deciding who did and didn't take steroids? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I could come up with circumstantial evidence that a lot of pro athletes did that. You don't know, you know what I mean? And so in this case, yes, he was, he was punished for it, but the whole morals clause thing, that's not supposed to come into play with the NFL, with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And so that's why I thought when they kept T.O., it was kind of kept T.O. out for, off the field reasons, locker room reasons. I thought it was kind of asinine. I felt if you're going to do that to T.O., then don't you have to do it to Lawrence Taylor? It just becomes a slippery slope, And so I think the way the Pro Football Hall of Fame has it written is, to me, is correct. I just think it's too hard to put that in people's laps. And so you should just say, you're voting on their greatness. And like, you have to be the judge of whether or not that greatness was it was so obvious that was the only reason why they were great. Like, that's a tough spot to put somebody in.
Switching gears a little bit here, Albert. I read the report the Jets reportedly reached out to John Gruden about taking a role in the staff of Aaron Glenn. Do you, first of all, do you think he was close? Do you think it was something that was a real possibility, or more just taking a shot in the dark?
I think for the most part, it's a shot in the dark. Like, I think they, what's the best way to put this? Don't really know what they're doing right now. I mean, I look at like where they went in the road they went down and filling their defensive coordinator spot, and just having a little bit of background on how that all happened. It did seem a little scattershot. And is AG going to call plays? Is he not going to call plays? And with the offensive side, it's sort of the same thing where, like, after the first week, after the season ended, like, everybody got through it, and they felt like a lot of the coaches felt like, okay, like, we're okay here. We survived, even though there was definitely internal speculation that Tanner Engstrand, their offensive coordinator, was going to be gone. Then those guys come back from vacation and they, clean out a number of offensive assistants, and then they come back like 4 or 5 days later and clean out the coordinator. At this point, I don't think anything was like mapped out, if that's what you're asking. And so I do think, to some degree, some of the names you're going to hear are swings that they're taking to try to fix what looks like a little bit of a broken situation.
So looking to Cleveland, who hired Monken, and Jim Schwartz was in the running for that. Steelhouse was coming in, and I don't know if they were interviewing some of these guys, Albert, as like potential coordinator candidates and head coaching candidates, and kind of piecing that together. As your understanding, kind of how did that go down, and were they hoping to keep Jim Schwartz, and why did they ultimately not keep him and maybe try to pair him with a young OC versus the veteran offensive coach, and now having to redo that defense?
Yeah, I mean, well, Bobby, Jim. He's kind of headstrong, I'd say.
Yeah.
Or he can be.
Yes.
Right? So I think, like, one thing that I have heard is over the last couple of weeks, Jim had basically told, the other assistant coaches, friends, like, hey, like, if I'm going to be here, it's going to be as the head coach. And the part I get about that is that he does want to be a head coach again. And, if like him looking at like the Browns management saying, well, if you don't view me as one, then I need to leave. That's understandable, right? Like, if he feels like the sand's running out in the hourglass for him to get a second shot at being a head coach, and he had a shot to be one here, a clear shot to be one here, in a place where the players revere him, and he didn't get the job, well, then maybe he does need to go somewhere else. So I understand that part of it. I know the Browns, really felt like we want to find a way to keep him if we do hire somebody on the offensive side of the ball. And so, they as they went through the process, they liked Monken's plan, and they liked the diversity of offenses, the diversity of different types of quarterbacks that Monken had coached, and what that could mean for them finding and developing a quarterback. And so, like, I think their feeling is, can we thread the needle here and get the offensive coach we want and convince Schwartz to come back? And so I think they're still going to try to convince him to come back. They still have him under contract. But the risk in doing it this way is that you're not going to be able to convince him, and it's going to get kind of ugly. So we'll see which way it goes.
But what are you hearing on the Cardinals and Raiders coaching front?
I think to some degree they're both waiting on Clint Kubiak. The Seahawks offensive coordinators kind of become a hot name here. And so they've both done second interviews with guys. They've kind of gone through, I'd say, a very full process. Sometimes teams get to the second interview and it becomes more of a coronation where one guy comes in and then by the end of the day, you're hearing that he's got the job. So, like, I think in Arizona, you're looking at names like Mike LaFleur, like Anthony Weaver, and like Anthony Campanelli. And so they'll get to the weekend and presumably interview Clint in Seattle. And with the Raiders, they really like Jesse Minter. There are the Michigan connections there, of course, with Tom Brady and John Spytek. And now I'd say it's sort of down to Davis Webb and Clint. And so, Clint's been I think a lot of these teams really liked Clint to begin with. And then, what he's done in the playoffs has sort of put it over the top. And so he could stay in Seattle. He could take one of those two jobs. But I think the hold up with those other two right now would be a desire to talk to Clint before Super Bowl week.
Which is the better job?
I'd say right now, Vegas. I think they both have serious issues. I think Arizona's got a better roster today, but the Raiders have some interesting building blocks in that you have Max Crosby, who you could trade if you see it that way, Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, Colton Miller. So you have some pieces. And then to me, the difference would be the path to getting a quarterback. You're going to wind up with Fernando Mendoza there, whereas the Cardinals are picking lower in a draft that really doesn't have a second quarterback that way. And they have a prohibitive contract with Kyler Murray. So I'd say right now, because of the path to the quarterback, and because I think, if you look at Vegas's ownership situation, you have some big money guys there in Vegas now that make it a little bit more intriguing with some of the resources you could have there. I'm talking about guys who've bought in, not Mark Davis, but Michael Meldman, Egan Durbin, some of the guys Tom Brady brought in. I'd give Vegas like a slight nod on that one.
All right, before we get you out of here, Albert, final question. You were down there in Mobile with the Senior Bowl. Is there anybody that turned some heads or someone that maybe kind of popped off the page?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that kind of came up, Bobby, most commonly for me is how this is a very imperfect draft class, and so you have Mendoza, who may not be the number one pick in every draft, but it's a good player. Then you have a drop off a quarterback, and then you look elsewhere, and the best tackles in the draft, Francis Mayoga and Spencer Fano, are probably right tackles, not left tackles, and Mayoga might be a guard. You have a couple guys at the top of the board for a lot of teams, and Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Love that don't play premium positions. Arvell Reese is probably in that category too, unless you see him as a pure edge rusher. So, it's very much like a flawed class. And so what that lacks, what that means for lack of quality, I think maybe you make up for in some intrigue. So there are guys here that, I think have a chance to have a chance to move up. How many first rounders are there? I'm not sure. But a guy like Fano coming here, I think it's really going to help him, so he'd be one name. And then, the other thing that really stuck out to me, Bobby, and just talking to some people about it, is the raw size of the corners.
Yeah.
It stuck out to me yesterday. I'm standing on the sideline there, and it's right next to me. And Igbenogsen's there, who you guys are obviously familiar with, and he's probably 6'2", 6'3". And there are four other guys, in his position drill that are almost as tall or taller than him, So it was it just stuck out. It's maybe that's like the Seattle, the impact Seattle, those Seattle teams from all those years ago had, that you have more guys that are built like that playing corner.
I would appreciate the time as always. Stay safe, stay warm. We'll talk to you next week.
And thanks for putting up with my voice, guys. I appreciate it.
Sounds awesome.
Got Betty Davis eyes over there.
Sounds like victory, yeah.
There we go. That was Albert Breer from MMQB. Coming up next, we're going to be joined by Ya Highness. Stick around for that. Morning Juice.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice. Tito, Bobby, Bodie. And now, folks, what you look forward to every single Thursday at this time. Ya Highness joins us. Ya Highness, good morning or good evening, depending on how your night went.
Morning, Columbus, Ohio. I hope you're staying warm. I heard the little Blue Jackets couldn't handle a little snow, so they sent the boys from L.A. packing the other day. What's going on there in Columbus? You can't handle a little snow?
I think it's more a function that they couldn't get staff probably down to the arena to get everything opened up. Because I know the basketball team played that day, and they said they had limited concessions, which means they probably couldn't get people into work. And I mean, not everybody is as dedicated as you. You know, they don't wake up at 2 in the morning or stay awake till 2 in the morning to come on with us.
Well, you know what? It was 76 degrees here yesterday in Phoenix, so I don't have the same issues you all have. But anyways, I should have been on earlier. I wanted to tell my boy, Albert Breer, to say hi to my friend Otto down in Mobile, Automobile. So anyways, this is a bad joke, dad joke.
Great.
Welcome to the show, folks. Barry Bonds, until he's into the Hall of Fame, I don't want to hear nothing about Bill Belichick, by the way.
Oh, you're not going to win. You're not going to get any kind of tracks on that here. We're sitting with Carpenter.
Listen, I've been lobbying to get Barry Bonds in for years. I said he's the best baseball player that I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes play the game. And it's not even really close. Definitely. He won 3 MVPs prior to even using steroids. And my counter argument to everybody is, prove to me the other guys in his era weren't using steroids. And they can talk about it and they can say whatever, but I'm convinced, I go, if they had that big of a problem with it, they would have voted to ban it and have legitimate testing done.
100%. And he was never actually, I think, proven officially guilty or ever suspended from Major League Baseball.
He was never suspended, no.
PD. So what are we doing? Again, baseball writers, football writers, a lot of these guys got egos and their feelings were hurt because T.O. didn't talk to me during the interview. I'm not going to vote T.O. in as the best wide receiver, which is arguably probably one of the 3 best wide receivers of all time. So it's all hogwash. Bill Belichick will get in eventually. Yeah, hogwash. That's a word.
That's a word, yeah. That's a word.
Stick with me.
I'm more worried about your T.O. I played with him. I don't know if I'd put him in the top 3, maybe top 10. He's in the conversation, but I don't know. You did say arguably.
Okay,
so
we got we got Jerry Rice, right? I think undoubtedly that's probably the GOAT. I put maybe Randy Moss in front of T.O. as well. I think Randy Moss had a great career. Fair. Who else are we putting? Who's coming to mind?
I would put Calvin Johnson ahead of Terrell Owens. I played with them both.
Not as long as okay. So I'm good either way. Both are Hall of Famers in my opinion.
Yeah. And like I said, we're talking about parceling it out. You start the top 7 or 8 guys. I mean, you could flip somebody from 2 to 6 or 2 to 7, and people, it's all a matter of opinion at that point. So I don't disagree with you. We can move on. It's not a hill that we need to die on this morning.
He is Ya Highness at WeWinYouWin.com. And I got a couple of messages from people on the X who are saying they're making a lot of money following you. Are you all on a good run right now?
Absolutely killing. I told you last week, I think we're $100 bettors up over 10 grand. That $100 better is now up over 13 grand, 13,440. That means $25 bettors should be up over $3,360 in the month of January. That's pretty darn good.
How's your $100 to $1 million challenge going?
We are on question 5, so we won last night. We had $500 on Sam Houston State money line. They were an underdog. 500 to win 600. Next question is going to be 750. We're on question 5. There's 16 questions, so we're just about a third of the way there. I know 750 doesn't seem like it's that close to $1 million, but we're 10 questions away from being millionaires, folks.
Oh, when you start doubling it, Coach, it gets there pretty fast. All you got to do is hit 3 or 4 more, and those numbers get real big in a hurry.
Yeah, we go from 750 to 1,500, then we're up to 2,500, 5 grand, 10 grand, 25 grand. It starts getting heavy quick.
Yes.
By the way, once we hit about like 10 grand, 20 grand, that's when I'm going to get kind of nervous on each bet. You start putting up 20 grand on a single bet of sports. That's when I start getting nervous.
But you don't. I know Bobby said double up. You don't double up all the time because you're pulling some profits back too, right? Like you just said, you had 500 to win 600. So now you're going to bet 750 next time. You've already got some profit built in on that.
That's correct. So as of right now, this whole month, the wins, the losses, just on the $100 to $1 million challenge, you should be up $780, which means the $750 I'm going to bet next is all house money.
Oh, I like that. When we're talking betting with the house money, that feels a little bit better.
Well, yeah, because if you lose, it doesn't sting as bad, right? If you whipped out $750, put it on the game and lost, that doesn't feel great. But when you're playing with house money, you lose the $750. It doesn't feel good, but you can sleep a little easier at night.
We do a segment on Fridays called Ask AJ, where we let some of the listeners and chatters send in questions to Ask AJ Hawk. And we got a couple of Ask Ya Highnesses here. Favorite restaurant in Delta, Ohio, and why?
Oh, that's got to be somebody from the community. I can't think of the name of it off the top. It's too early in the morning. But there used to be a young waitress at this diner in I think it was like Delta or somewhere out that way, somewhere out there just west of Toledo. Anyways, a nice young lady. Made sure that my eggs were over easy, if you know what I'm saying, and the grits were extra buttery. Anyways, my point was she was a lovely lady. Shout out to Jada if she's ever listening. Doubt it. But yeah, that's somebody within the community. I told that story a few weeks ago.
Also, ever in a golf league in at Ironwood Golf Course? Does that ring a bell?
Oh, yeah, that's out that way. Wauseon, Ohio, I think.
Yeah, Wauseon, yep.
This is you got some people from Northwest Ohio chirping in today, that's for sure.
So with the Super Bowl coming up here now, and they've always got a billion. I mean, every game has all these different prop bets now, but the Super Bowl was really the first one to have a bunch of them like this that were popular. I remember my sister telling me she went to Vegas for the Super Bowl a couple of times and just bet the coin flip, heads or tails, which seems stupid to me. But do you have any thoughts, anything you usually look at, or anything that normally strikes you as far as a bet you like to make, a prop bet for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, so next week's show, I will come ready to go because they drop usually about Sunday or Monday all the exotic prop bets, the funny kind of good ones. So I don't really have the whole list of that, but next week I will. Here's one thing to look at. Last 20 years, the coin flip is exactly 10 and 10. 10 tails, 10 heads. So there is no winning there because the book makes you pay the juice. It's a losing proposition. But there usually is an exotic prop bet in most of these sports books. The first penalty called of the game. So I dug deep. A false start is called as the first penalty of the game of Super Bowl 54% of the time. The next highest penalty would be a face mask at 27. So almost twice as many false starts. My theory is because the officials don't want to be the center of attention. They're looking for egregious, obvious penalties to call. Obviously, false start is not really subjective. It's pretty objective, where a pass interference or maybe a holding call is subjective, and I don't think they want the limelight or the spotlight on the officials early in the game. So I think that's why you see some of these false start penalties or technical type penalties called, because there's not a subjectivity to them.
I know that.
Anyways, false start, first penalty of the game.
I know that the numbers aren't fully out on that. Do you think there'll be significant juice on that? I mean, do the books look at that the way that you do?
So it depends. It's historically been the same, where books make people pay heavy juice, like minus 115 on both the heads and the tails, which is terrible. Most game you're getting about minus 110. Some of the better books have moved to a minus 1.5, but a lot of the exotics, they put an extra, I call it a tax on there. They work in an extra 10 cents on the dollar, because the most common fan or the casual fan isn't astute to know what's going on, as small as those minor details. And the Super Bowl is the largest event bet on for the casual fan. So it's like, I don't know what analogy I can use, not get in trouble here. It would be like somebody walking into a car dealership that has no idea what to do with a car dealership, and a car salesman taking them for a ride, if you know what I'm saying. It's the same thing. You have a bunch of people that are sports fans that aren't sports bettors that walk into a sports book, and the sports book's taking them for a ride. So that's all.
He is Ya Highness at WeWinYouWin.com, joining us from Arizona here live on Morning Juice, like he does every Thursday at this time. Let's pimp the Super Bowl squares.
Yeah, so Super Bowl squares, we got about 60 sold. Now is when people start kind of pouring in. Jacksonville Sports Boosters, we're giving $10 to that organization, so $1,000. They help underprivileged children in Jacksonville, Florida, pay for their sports, football, basketball, volleyball, you name it. $60 to get in, $600 if you hit the actual square, but if you have the touching square to either side of it, you're a winner, or the inverse. So let's say 7-3 is the winner, 3-7 would also be the winner. All details on WeWinYouWin.com. And Tito, I'm going to do something for the listeners as well, because we're on an absolute tear. We're going to open it up, free access to everybody in the Columbus area. All you got to do is email me, my first name, Chad, at WeWinYouWin.com. Again, my first name, Chad, at WeWinYouWin.com. Just tell me something along the lines that you heard me on the Morning Juice. But we're getting free access through the Super Bowl, so it's about a week and a half. Come check it out. Like I said, we're on an absolute tear, and we love each and every one of your listeners to be able to join in the prosperity.
And we can use code JADA. How about that?
Oh, if this ever gets to her, she's going to kill me. I haven't talked to this girl in about 10 years. I think she's married with multiple children, so hopefully the story doesn't get to her. But let's just say, the back, never mind.
No,
I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get canceled. Let's just keep it PG.
We'll cancel everybody else. They can deal with it. Thanks. We appreciate the time, Ya Highness. WeWinYouWin.com. Go there, sign up for the Super Bowl squares.
We win, you win, she wins. Maybe that's what we should change it to.
There we go. Code JADA. Thanks, brother. We'll talk next week.
I will say, in order to hang out with Jada, you do got to jump on the right foot and do the wrong thing, Bobby. All right, guys, I'll be back next week with a slew of Super Bowl props for you.
You're the man. Thanks so much. That was Ya Highness. Go check him out. Check out his content. It's always fantastic. Somebody else in the chat also, they've made a bunch of money listening to his, following his picks and all that. And
listen, if you're not watching or listening to the Morning Juice in the morning, you're doing it wrong, and you're just gonna you're gonna be a hole in your life, Bodie, that you're gonna be trying to fill.
There's a method. Listen, there's a method to the madness. If you look at him on screen and you check out his YouTube channel, you might wonder, like, what is this guy? Is this guy all there?
But here's the thing.
And then the money just starts.
But Albert Einstein wore the same clothes every day. He wasn't probably appreciating his time either.
Fair.
All right, coming up next, we'll wrap things up. Bob, you want to tell us about the bank first?
Yeah, let's go. Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town, an opportunity to work alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin, you got the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, will help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, we'll close things out next. Tell you what's got us juiced. Morning Juice.
Bobby Carpenter here with the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. When the game's on the line, you press hard, you hustle, you stay focused, and give it everything you got. Pressure brings out the best in people. That's how business works too. Have you ever met what seemed like an impossible deadline? Saved a deal from going off a cliff at the last minute? Here's Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, president of Riverside Bank of Dublin, on their local partnership and dedication to doing whatever it takes.
Thanks, Bobby. At Riverside Bank of Dublin, we're proud to be on your team, helping local businesses manage cash, fund growth, and invest in what's next. From startups to seasoned pros, we bring the full court press every day for our clients.
That's right, Travis. Our team at Riverside Bank is just as hungry as you are to grow and prosper. That mentality shows up in everything we do. Your business deserves a banking partner that's invested in your success. Look for a new branch location at Bridge Park in 2026.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You don't want to start the new year off hurting. You don't want to start off the new year getting surgery. You don't want to start off the new year dealing with trying to plan something out into the future. What you want to do is get healthy. So what you want to do is go to my friends over at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team, the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, back, shoulders, whatever it is, they can help you get ready. So instead of those invasive operations that's going to sideline you all of the early year, go check out our friends at QC Kinetics and see if they can help you today. Imagine moving better, being stronger, planning your year, doing what actually you want to do. So don't wait. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices located in Dublin and Gahanna, and they're already there for your free consultation. So go check them out today.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
Bobby Carpenter, husband, father, Buckeye. Jeff Thitoff, husband, father, idiot. This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. I'm telling you, Bob, Friday's a good day. I enjoy Fridays.
Sure. I forgot today is kind of my Friday.
It's your Friday, yeah.
I mean, sort of. Like, usually if I take a day off, I'm still going to get up and work out, which is great because then I have cleared. I enjoy working out first thing in the morning. When we first started Morning Juice, I had a commitment. I'm going to wake up and work out beforehand. I did that for about 6 to 8 months, and then I realized, this is slowly killing me. Like, I would be, I'm not kidding you, buddy. I would be driving 10 minutes, driving to the store, drive to the Woody Hayes and back, drive to campus. And there'd be times where I'd be falling asleep in my car.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't go to bed early enough to get enough sleep to consistently wake up and go run a mile, mile and a half, and then get a 45, 50-minute workout. I'd feel good. By 3 o'clock, though, if I was talking to you, I would be just falling asleep during that conversation.
The first fall that you guys started the show and added Morning Juice there in August of 2020. Obviously, it was still COVID time, and nobody had taken any PTO for a large chunk of the year just because you weren't going anywhere. You were just going to work, going home, basically.
I wasn't even going to work. I was waking up and walking downstairs to my office. Yeah,
good point. And so when the fall finally rolled around and people really started to use it up, I know that basically one of two things happened for me every week, and that would be Shark would be on PTO, maybe not the whole week, but a day or two. And then at that point, old Chopper, he started filling in on shows. So I basically had a 4 to 5 month stretch where I was doing either Morning Juice with you guys or at the time what was still Bishop and Laurinaitis. And I was living still at home out in Newark.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of mornings that I'd be on 161. And that sunrise would start creeping up on my way home. And you it honest to God took everything out of me more often than not. Just get home. Just get home.
Get to your bed. It's
just
right
get
there.
to the bed.
Just fall asleep on the floor.
Listen, you'd be in the car. Got the heated seat on. It's nice and warm. Like
you gotta put the window down, dude.
I
don't care if it's
safe right here. If I did, I wouldn't have to wake up tomorrow.
Or maybe wake up ever.
But why Thursday is my favorite day, getting back to my original point, was we get Breer and Ya Highness.
Yeah.
And it's such a great mix.
That's a Jordan and Pippen.
It really is. Or maybe Jordan Rodman.
More Jordan Rodman,
I would say. Yeah, Jordan Pippen.
Call.
But yes, a couple Hall of Famers still, don't get me wrong. But just different kinds of Hall of Famers and for different reasons.
Who's Jordan? Who's Ya Highness in that situation? Or who's Pippen?
I think Breer's Jordan.
Breer's
really?
Jordan. Yeah, Breer's
Do you
Jordan.
think Breer's Jordan or the fact that Ya Highness is more Rodman?
It might be the latter.
More of that right there. Yes, it's probably more of that.
I was pumped to talk to Breer today because we played What's Got You Juiced.
We haven't done it yet.
Why don't you play it right here?
Right here.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Go ahead.
It actually goes to you, Bodie. It's a Schlegs Day. It's a Thursday.
Let me fade this down real quick here. I still am always hitting the hotkey one, which is Tito, but he's on
Hot route.
Hot route. Just go stand on the other side.
You're talking to the Carhartt wearing, Realtree camo wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, truck driving, arrow flying, son of a gun.
I hope Chark was ready for the dump button on that one. What has me juiced, guys? Super juiced about this last night, watching the Celtics game. Well, it wasn't very juiced because they got their butts kicked, frankly, from the first quarter on. But they went to the first media time out there halfway through the first quarter, came back. They showed a very beloved sitting on the sidelines at the game, Marcus Freeman. I was like, oh my God, this is like worlds colliding right here. I couldn't believe it. I did a double check, double look there at the TV screen, stood up off my couch, just started clapping all by myself.
What if you had a Cowboys shirt on or Cowboys hat? Would that have just been overload?
Like, thank you, Coach Freeman. I couldn't believe it. He was there with Juwan Sider, the running backs coach. So I wasn't super juiced about the Celtics, like I said, getting their butts kicked, but that's all right. Coach Freeman was in attendance, and that had me juiced there. Juiced that it's Friday. Juiced that I was looking at the weather 10-day forecast there on my phone this morning, and I saw not 1 but 2 days of 30 degrees next week.
Oh, boy.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. This weather, it's wearing me down. It's really, I think I'm starting to hit my breaking point with still having lanes on the roads closed, walking outside to basically go anywhere, which right now is mostly just work in the gym and just wanting to cry as I immediately just feel the cold air.
But you feel so alive, Bodie.
I guess that's one way of looking at it. Walking out of the gym and, you got a little bit of a sweat going and you're like, well, let's see, can I get to my car before I get pneumonia in the meantime? Yesterday, I had maybe the worst parking job ever because there was so much snow still piled onto the parking lot that as I walked back out and got into my car to leave, I was like, I'm basically not even at a spot. I'm basically just right in the middle of the lane. But you know what? You guys are going to have to work around that. So Thursday, Carp, second best day of the week, but best day of the work week for you, sir. What has you juiced?
Yeah, I enjoy Thursdays because the first day of the weekend was Thursday for me.
Yeah.
So I've tried to just hold on to that, just like Pam Dawson, never let go, and make sure that my heart will go on. Tomorrow, I'm going to be heading out to your neck of the woods. I actually drove by Lakewood yesterday. I was in Pittsburgh, and I was like, that's Lakewood. I pull out the map. I'm like, oh, yeah, right there in the distance off 70. And taking a peek at that. But I'll be heading back out east again to Licking County. Oh, goodness. And for the Groundhog Day breakfast, I think their Chamber of Commerce puts it on out there. It's going to be tremendous. 1,000 people. I apparently am the keynote speaker, so going to enjoy that. Get back probably, I don't know, be like doing the show, get back probably around 8:30, go get a lift and get my day going, and then we're on to the weekend. So excited and juiced up about that. The kids have been out of school. They are back in school today. So that is exciting and very positive from that standpoint. I always love snow days. Maybe 1's good, 2's gravy, 3, it's like you've been eating, Starburst for 3 days straight and your teeth are starting to hurt. So it might be time to head on back.
I need some veggies.
Oh, yeah. And it's wild. My son, they've got their OCC swim meets, their league meet tomorrow night as these winter sports are starting to wind down. You get the tournament time and that's wrestling, swimming, basketball. They've got a bunch of different things that are going to be going on. So got all that going this weekend. Got a couple basketball games going to be fun. And then I'll be back in on Monday, and then I'm going to be out the rest of that week heading down. I'll be heading down south to Caraco and going to go visit some of the troops here. So excited to have some stories about that and talk about the things that are going on and get a chance to thank all of our great men and women in service who are stationed abroad. Now, they're stationed in Caraco in the Bahamas. So, there's worse places to be in this world.
I think it's 15 degrees down there.
Yeah, probably not quite as cold down there and a little sunny. So I told my wife, playing in our spring break stuff, and well, let's do this. I want to go here. I go, I've been everywhere in the Caribbean. There's a handful of islands that I haven't been to. And frankly, 90% of them look the same. I feel like,
sand and water.
It's basically it. Some of them have some elevation, have some mountains there. I'm like, and that's nice. And I like going to those. You can do some zip lining and some different things. Like you go to Jamaica, they got the Blue Hole. I forget what we were watching last night with my son. I showed him something about that. I was like, dude, this is like jumping off these waterfalls. What were we watching last night? Maybe it was 2 nights. Oh, it was 2 nights ago. We were watching Just Go With It with Jennifer Aniston. I was showing him and Adam Sandler. I was showing him like stuff that we did when we stopped there. But it's like I'm going on the Buckeye cruise, going like St. Bart's, St. Thomas, all this stuff. And then we're going to go back to St. Thomas for spring break. I'm like, I spend three of the next 7 weeks in the Caribbean. So that'll be fun. But I guess I'll be tanner, hopefully not burnt, if you will. But all that's got me juiced heading into a big weekend here. Excited. Hopefully the Buckeyes can get another win on Saturday and keep that rolling. Thitoff, what's got you juiced?
Just take the kids to Put in Bay. It's the same thing as the Caribbean.
Maybe not over spring break.
Yeah,
it's all Put in Bay in the summer. It's spring break for adults,
Yep.
I don't know if it's really a kid's place.
I don't know. You can make it a kid's place. You take kids there, it's a kid's place.
I don't know if it's really age appropriate for them. But, there's things you could do, I guess.
You going to use my name in your speech at all? You going to drop it all in there? Do you have like a way?
There's a way to work it in somehow. I don't know if that's the case. I'll try.
How about this? I'm Bobby Carpenter, former Ohio State linebacker, former NFL linebacker, and I work with Tito.
Current co-host of Jeff Tito.
Something like that, yeah. You could just work in real organically.
Give Ya Highness a
That's
shout
what she said.
Listen, you're going to go on there, shut up in bed on YouTube.
The kids back in school, yes, Bob, I'll attest to that. That's a good thing. I'm excited about that they're back there. Not that I see them that much, 'cause I'm usually working, throughout the day anyway. But
don't worry. When I'm working throughout the day, my kids come in and still try to talk to me when I'm doing my XM show. I'm like, I'm just because I'm not speaking, someone else is speaking to me. You just can't hear them. I have a headset on.
You get that? They'll come into your office when you're on
absolutely. And they'll be like acting like it's the most urgent thing. I was like, I understand me putting $10 on your debit card so you can go somewhere to buy something. You may think that that's the most. Can you take me to my friend's house? No, not for 2 more hours. Well, you're here. Like I'm working. Okay, I'm doing a job. Just because you can come in and talk to me doesn't mean they come in all the time.
Stupid question: is the show live every time?
Oh yeah, sometimes we record our show that I was doing with Schlegs, and now Steele's come on, who's done a great job this week.
Yeah,
and that is usually live. Occasionally we record it if we have stuff going on. But they'll pop in. And that has video too, and so they're smart enough when they see me because I turn the other way when I'm doing that so they can see, and they can see the screen on my monitor and my TV in the background that it's playing on. So they get that. But when I'm just doing XM and then I just have a headset on like I do now, and they walk in, or even I'll do hits with Rothman and stuff. I do a hit for ESPN Radio and last night, and it's 8 o'clock. Can you take me? Someone needs a ride. Texting a ride from the game. Like I told you, I was busy at this point.
Right.
Whatever.
I like it when we do my podcast sometimes, and Artie will come in, and he thinks because he's whispering, even though it's video also, because he's whispering, it does its job.
If I can hear you, the microphone can probably hear you.
Dad, are all the chocolate chips gone? Or something like that, or can I go to Jack's?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Inconsequential things that some of them aren't even time sensitive.
Right,
it's a beautiful thing.
Right, yeah. They don't quite recognize that.
Doors shut in here. Sometimes it's beautiful because I can hear they fight so loud that I can hear them through the door. And like people are looking at me like, oh, yeah, that's happening. Are they in the room? No. They might even be like in
Not
another.
even in the next room.
Yeah, they might be in another floor.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's not to get all personal on this, but it's no, I love the back and forth we have, the chatters and how committed they are, and hearing great things like them saying in here that they don't listen to the show and laugh as much as they do with ours. So we appreciate that, and the loyalty of those listeners here. Thank you for that. The people sending in the questions for Ya Highness, that's also great. I know he's kind of he's worked his way into our family here, and we love that, and wouldn't give up for anything in the world. So, but thank you all for
really.
I wouldn't give up.
There's a number.
There's a number. Fine. We would sell out Ya Highness for a number. Fine. We would do that. But I like what he's added to the show and what he brings to us every week. Breer in Mobile, Alabama. Bobby, I appreciate you. I probably don't say it enough, but I appreciate you setting all those things up with people like Breer and like AJ. No longer Slegs, whatever. But, I appreciate all the hard work you do on that. And with Bender, getting him in here, too, that adds a lot to the show. So thank you to all the juicers. We're back tomorrow without Bobby. The original Jay-Z will be here. They named Sean Carter after Jay-Z.